the cameras flashed, the group chats exploded. And just like that, Hollywood was watching to see if a reality TV empire was about to expand or completely crumble under its own weight. Welcome to Starscope Report.
Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And we are so thrilled you are joining us today for this deep dive. If you have ever wondered what happens when the most powerful family in television decides that, well, blood is no longer thicker than a streaming contract, you are in the right place.
Absolutely. We have a massive stack of sources to get through today. We are talking industry analysis from Collider, The Hollywood Reporter, and Primetimer. We've got episodic data straight from Disney+, and we even pulled a transcript from a very revealing YouTube interview.
Yeah, and the title of that YouTube video is really the foundation for our entire discussion today. It is titled, Khloé Kardashian Discusses Executive Producing a Show for Her Friends. We are synthesizing all of this to figure out exactly what is going on with her latest venture, The Girls, a Khloé Kardashian project, which just premiered on Hulu on August 24th, 2026.
Right, and our mission today is really twofold. First, we need to uncover the psychological and financial fallout when the Kardashian reality formula shifts its focus away from family bloodlines and instead, points the cameras directly at a core group of private friends.
Exactly. And secondly, looking at the data, we need to analyze if the reality TV spinoff model itself is even a viable business strategy in today's media landscape. Because for over a decade, the formula was basically a license to print money.
Oh, for sure. You put the family in a room, let the natural sibling rivalry happen, capture it on film, and syndicate it globally. It worked flawlessly for them.
But now, Khloé is stepping behind the camera. She's the executive producer for this 6-episode Hulu reality series, and the cast is entirely made up of her inner circle.
We're talking longtime Kardashian fixtures like Malika and Khadijah Hack, style cousins Natalie Halcrow and Olivia Pearson, model Nicole Williams-English, and beauty entrepreneur Yaris Palmer.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because Khloé isn't just producing this with, some indie documentary crew. She is reuniting with Boone & Murray Productions.
Right, the original producers of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yes. She's applying the exact same corporate infrastructure that built her family's empire directly to her private inner circle. But I have to push back a little on the prevailing narrative here. Is Khloé just stepping into her Kris Jenner momager era? Or is there something slightly more cynical happening?
What do you mean by cynical?
Well, in that YouTube interview we looked at, Malika actually joked that Khloé took her 10% cut right off the top. I mean, I struggle to see this as just another empowering management move. She's literally monetizing her peers.
Oh, wow, yeah. If we connect this to the bigger picture, that 10% joke actually reveals the fundamental shift in the power dynamic. Khloé isn't just a reality TV talent anymore. She is actively building and curating a media franchise.
Which is a huge leap from just starring in one.
Exactly. And unlike Kris Jenner, who was managing her own children, where that maternal bond kind of softens the business transaction, Khloé is managing her equals. She's transitioning into an executive mentor figure for her own best friends.
And the mechanism of that mentorship is fascinating to me. Take her advice to Yaris Palmer, for example, who is basically the rookie of the group regarding this level of exposure.
Right. Khloé's advice to her was simply be yourself.
Which sounds so cliche.
It does sound like an empty cliche on the surface. But coming from someone who has lived her entire adult life under the scrutiny of a lens, it's actually highly specific media training.
How so?
She's essentially telling Yaris to abandon the instinct to self-produce. She's saying, give the producers the raw emotional data, trust the edit, and trust the corporate machine to build a narrative out of your authentic reactions.
Okay, which is incredibly easy to say when you're the one sitting in the editing bay, executive producing the final cut. I mean, it's one thing to tell a rookie to trust the process, but it's another when you literally control the process.
That is a very fair point.
And that brings us to the core issue. Think about going on a week-long vacation with your best friends. You love them. But by day 4, you want to strangle them over how they load a dishwasher. Now, put a camera in their faces.
Yes, curating a cast of your best friends is great for business, but it can be a potential disaster for the friendships themselves. And that fallout became highly visible before the show even premiered.
It really did. The tension of commodifying these private relationships started cracking the foundation almost immediately during the press tour. In an interview with Page Six's Virtual Reality, Malika called castmate Natalie Halcrow self-centered.
over a seemingly innocent PR question.
Exactly. They asked who the messiest cast member was, and instead of giving a fluffy answer, Malika cited a lack of accountability on Natalie's part. Immediately, Olivia Pearson and Nicole Williams-English went straight on the defensive.
They publicly praised Natalie as this selfless friend who puts herself on the line. And Natalie herself appeared genuinely bewildered by Malika's description, noting she was just trying to be vulnerable on camera.
It's like taking a delicate houseplant and putting it in an industrial wind tunnel just to see how strong its roots are. So I have to ask you, does the structure of reality TV inherently destroy genuine friendships?
Well, what's fascinating here is that the cast themselves blame the show's pressure cooker environment. They were traveling, staying in each other's homes, and filming constantly.
I just struggle to buy the whole pressure cooker defense. I mean, these are savvy, wealthy women in their 30s who have been in Hollywood for a decade. Are they really losing their minds over sharing a house in El Salvador?
Actually, the mechanism of that pressure cooker is meticulously designed to break down even the savviest media personalities. The production utilizes 14-hour call times, deliberate sleep deprivation, and physical isolation from their normal support systems.
Oh, wow. So it is a literal psychological experiment at that point.
Exactly. In normal life, if you have a blowout argument, you go home and take 3 days to cool off. Here, you have to wake up, sit across from them at breakfast, surrounded by boom mics, and re-engage with the trauma.
And you could actually trace this manufactured escalation right in the Disney Plus episodic data. I mean, the episode titles are a case study on their own.
Right, like episode 1 is titled Crossing the Line.
And by episode 4, we are already at wigs, wine, and breaking points. They aren't hiding the ball at all.
Because peace does not drive the narrative engine of reality television. Conflict is the only currency that matters.
It really is. And when you force people to verbalize everything under those conditions, things get incredibly bizarre. But wait till you hear what came next, because the anecdotes they dropped in that YouTube interview are just mind-blowing.
They really are. And hey, if you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead.
Definitely. So back to that YouTube interview. It was just a gold mine of bizarre psychological coping mechanisms. Take Iris Palmer, for example, clashing with the group.
Oh, right. She spent a significant amount of time blaming the group's intense arguments on the fact that she is a Taurus and the others are Aquariuses.
Which is honestly so funny to me.
It's a classic, almost subconscious deflection tactic. When the reality of your behavior becomes too toxic to own, you externalize the blame. It's not my fault I was screaming on international television. It's the alignment of the stars.
It's incredible. And then amidst all this psychological dissection, they casually drop details about Kylie Jenner throwing a highly exclusive pink-themed Princess Kitty party.
Right, with a strict mandatory dress code.
It's this surreal flex of unimaginable wealth and boredom, completely detached from our reality. But the moment that really highlighted the weird dichotomy of their lives was Khadija Haq lamenting that she still cannot buy her own name on Instagram.
I could not believe that. She has been a prominent public figure for years. She is starring in a major streaming show, and she just can't secure her own handle.
It perfectly illustrates this weird intersection of extreme privilege and frustratingly mundane tech problems. But the most revealing moment of that entire press tour, and this proves the reality TV environment makes people say crazy things, was Malika's vehicular manslaughter quote.
Oh, that was wild. In the middle of filming the show, she casually references vehicular manslaughter on camera while discussing a bad hookup situation.
And then during the press tour, when asked about it, she had to admit she didn't even remember saying it. Her defense was literally, "I don't know why my big mouth usually does that."
It proves that the reality TV environment induces a literal state of dissociation. You are watched so constantly that your brain eventually forgets the cameras are there, the filter dissolves, and you just start spewing absolute chaos.
But navigating that pressure cooker is so risky, especially since the Kardashian brand has a very mixed track record when it comes to spin-offs. And that's not even the wildest part. Later in the episode, we'll talk about a shocking twist with their social media numbers that nobody saw coming.
I can't wait to get into that data because, you know, we combed through a historical analysis from Collider detailing the forgotten graveyard of spin-offs, and it proves just how volatile this model is.
Let's take a rapid-fire look at that list to provide some context. There were hits, like Revenge Body with Khloé Kardashian, which ran for 3 seasons.
She really thrived as an EP and mentor on that show. And then you had Cocktails with Khloe, which was praised for its relaxed dinner party vibe.
Right, she excels when the stakes are intimate. But the misses are spectacular. Do you remember Dash Dolls from 2015?
Oh my goodness, yes. It was canceled after just 8 episodes. And ironically, that also starred Malika and Khadijah.
It was a complete disaster. And then there was the messy and short-lived Rob and China. Oh, and Kris Jenner's failed 6-week daytime talk show.
Not to mention Scott Disick's attempts to fly solo. He had that bizarre web series, Lord Disick, Lifestyles of a Lord, and then his real estate show, Flip It Like Disick.
The empirical track record for isolating side projects away from the main family is surprisingly poor. And here's where it gets really interesting. Despite the massive Kardashian machine, critics are calling the girls a flop before it even airs.
Yes, we dug into an article from Little Things, and they highlighted a staggering metric. Right before the premiere, the show's official TikTok only had 436 followers.
Wait, 436? Are you kidding me? For a heavily promoted Hulu-backed project?
I know, let that number sink in. That is not just a quiet launch, it is a profound rejection. And the comments were filled with fatigue, literally asking, who asked for this?
It is a digital ghost town, which raises an important question. Are audiences just tired of the spin-off formula, or are they craving the raw authenticity that early 2000s reality TV used to provide?
This really connects to the mechanics of modern media consumption. We are in an era of influencer oversaturation. The inherent novelty of peeking behind the velvet rope has evaporated because celebrities broadcast their mundane daily routines to us every single day.
It's so true. Why would you wait months for a highly edited Hulu premiere when you can literally open your phone and watch them post Instagram stories in real time?
Exactly. And this algorithmic fatigue is demonstrably impacting Khloé's solo ventures across the board. The Little Things piece pointed out the distinctly mixed reception of her Khloé in Wonderland podcast and her Cloud snack brand.
I think we're seeing a massive cultural swing. Audiences are starving for unpolished authenticity. Look at the YouTube interview again. Malika and Khadijah were so nostalgic for their early acting gig in the 2005 movie Sky High.
Right, laughing about how they still receive these tiny residual checks for it. Back then, fame felt like a job you did, not an identity you constantly curated.
Now, a show like The Girls operates on the promise of raw access, but the audience is savvy. They know the executive producer is sitting right there in the scene controlling the narrative flow. It inherently feels like a corporate presentation.
It is an authenticity trap. They are trying to sell us the chaotic dynamics of real friendship, but filtering it through a highly structured corporate production model. And the audience can spot the invisible wires holding it together.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Well, Khloé Kardashian is testing her power as a mogul by turning her friends into a franchise. But between the on-camera drama, the pressure cooker environment, and a seemingly exhausted audience, the ultimate test is whether this new era of reality TV can survive its own manufactured chaos.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over. As the line between genuine friendship and produced content blurs completely in Hollywood, it makes you wonder, are we watching a group of women live their authentic lives? Or are we witnessing a world where friendship has simply become the ultimate business transaction?
A truly terrifying thought. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.